Good morning and welcome, everyone. Thank you for taking time today to join our webinar. My name is Sarah Bartlett, an Agent Success Manager with Premier Marketing. I have the privilege of introducing our presenter, Bryan Derheim. Bryan is the Regional Manager Director for Ameritas. He will be showcasing their Prime Star Dental and Vision products, along with going through some of the product updates. Everyone is on mute for this presentation, and we'll collect any questions throughout the webinar and address them at the end of the presentation. With that, I'll turn it over to Bryan to get us going.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah, and thank you for all the agents that joined the webinar here today. I'm Bryan Derheim with Ameritas, and I'm extremely excited to speak to you about the brand new Ameritas Dental plans that we just launched starting on September 1st. So these will be the plans that we will have for open enrollment and AEP, and so really excited about, once again, the opportunity to review them with you. My hope and goal today is to give you a little bit of a background about Ameritas, kind of what some of our thinking around the new plans based upon the distributor feedback that we receive from agents like yourself. And then I do want to show you the enrollment link. We do all e-applications, good, bad, or indifferent, and so I want to take the time to run through that, pretty much to get you a point to where if you like what you hear and you want to get appointed through Premier to do so, you'd have everything that you would need to be rocking and rolling for the Ameritas Dental for this year. So with that said, here's a little bit about Ameritas. Ameritas has been around for quite some time, 1887 to be exact. And so we're one of the first companies and one of the first insurance carriers in that state. What I want you to get from this slide, though, isn't that we're really old or we've got a bunch of revenue. What I want you to get from this slide is that we're actually a dental-focused company. Dental is what we do. It's not to say that things don't change down the road, but we are focused on dental. So we're not doing med sup, we're not doing MA or any other senior products in that regard. You know, we're one of the top 4 or 5 large group carriers in the country, and we're the leader in the individual space. And so that makes us unique relative to most of the individual dental carriers that are out there, because once again, dental is what we do. We take a focus on it, and that really shows up when you take a look at things like our network strength, our provider strength, our brand strength with the providers, et cetera, et cetera. So here's the new plans. Prime Star is the name of our product portfolio, and it's approved in all 50 states. There are some state nuances, but we've got approval nonetheless in all 50 states. We historically have offered 2 plans, and if you've seen these plans before, you know that we've offered the Advantage and the Advantage Plus. There are some nuances to those plans, but the largest difference was the annual maximum. The annual maximum was $1,000 on the Advantage plan and $2,000 on the Advantage Plus plan. What we're going to do going forward for this year and thereafter is we're just going to offer the Advantage Plus plan, but we're going to add the annual maximum option of $1,000. So now the client can pick how much coverage they want to buy, $1,000 or $2,000, and the plan designs are going to be the same beyond that annual maximum. So where previously we didn't have coverage for implants, we had lower coverage for basic services. None of that's going to be the case anymore, and it's just the Advantage Plus plan with, once again, the $1,000 or the $2,000 maximum. So that's a change. So let's run through in detail how this plan is going to work. 2 cleans and exams are covered. That's twice per year, not every 6 months, and the x-rays are also covered. That's all at 100%. And not only is it covered at 100% day 1, but also the deductible is not applicable to preventative services. Basic services are fillings and simple extractions. Those are covered at 50% day 1, 80% after a year. And then the major services is essentially everything else. Oral surgery, crowns, dentures, root canals, implants. Implants is a big one because more and more seniors are getting implants done. We're going to cover all those services at 15% tomorrow. And then after a year, those services get bumped to 50%. A couple things to note. One, we actually don't have pre-existing conditions. And so even if your client is saying, hey, I need to get a filling tomorrow, we'll cover 50% of that filling or 15% of any major work. Another thing to note is the basic services and major services, it says it goes up after year 1. That year 1 is defined as a calendar year, not a policy year. And so therefore, all the benefits that are installed, or I should say all the plans that are installed in 2018, they're all going to bump up come January 1st. And so the key is when you're in AEP, It's all based upon the effective date. So don't make it effective 1/1. Make it effective still in this year, because then come January 1st, once again, they'd have 80% coverage on basic services and 50% coverage on major services. Ortho is available on this plan. It's a child ortho benefit. The deductible, as I mentioned, is $50. That's a calendar year deductible, and it's not applicable to preventative services. And then last but not least, the client has a choice of how much benefit they would like to buy, $1,000 or $2,000. With this plan, the other thing that's unique about it is you can offer this plan as a network plan or as a non-network plan, or to use dental lingo, you can offer it as a UCR plan or as a MAC plan. And so really, we give transparency in terms of kind of the benefits themselves and whether they want to go in network or out of network, and they can see the difference in it. The network's very large, though. The network's 470,000 access points nationwide, and that averages a discount of 32% off of those procedures. Something that's interesting is we see the cost of care continuing to rise, but it's not really because of the trend. The actual cost on a per unit basis is only modestly increasing 1 to 2% a year for dental. And so it's much more steady vis-a-vis healthcare. But what is increasing is the utilization. Dentists are definitely taking a different approach to seniors' teeth than what they've historically have. They want to retain as many natural teeth as possible. They're taking a much more kind of long-term view, holistic approach, and that's what's driving much of these spends. We know a senior on average now, at least within our like $1.4 billion of dental, spends $1,154 a year on dental care. And so those costs continue to rise, and so the need for dental is only going up. Let me show you a chart of the actual savings that we can give a client. Let's say that they need to go get a crown. The usual rate for a crown in Minneapolis is $1,227. I use Minneapolis because, one, I live here, and two, it's a fairly good kind of median price point for the rest of the country. With just our network rate, we can get that cost down of the client to $772. And then when you add in the 15% insurance, between the network savings and the insurance savings, the day one cost of the client is only $656. That's a $576 savings. Now let's say we get to January 1st and the crown is now going to be covered at 50%. Then the cost to the client is only $386, which is a net savings of $846. So overlooking the network is definitely a mistake. The network delivers a lot of savings to the customers. And when you if you're to walk through this exercise between the network savings and the dental insurance, we've got one of the richest dental benefit plans that are out there to begin with. When you couple that with the network savings that we can offer that really no one else can, at least to the degree that we do, that's why we say we're the best economic value for your clients, because there's no one, if you do similar math out there, there's no one that's going to save your clients more money than us. Here's how some are successfully cross-selling, and this is really the key. If you're an agent but you're not offering dental right now, at least if you're not bringing it up every single time, those that sell dental successfully do bring up dental every single time. They view it as a core product. One of the easiest ways to bring up dental every single time is to use a scope of appointment form that has dental on it already. I have a generic one if you'd like a generic one, but many of the large carriers nowadays are including dental on their carrier scope of appointment forms. And so it's a great way to, one, do it in a compliant manner, and two, just kind of set up the conversation. You let them know, hey, the biggest thing that Medicare doesn't cover is dental, right? It's on the scope of appointment form for a reason. So go ahead and initial next to dental, vision, and hearing. So in that way, we can talk about that. Another way that some are successfully cross-selling dental is for those that are leveraging the Medicare and You guidebook that all the seniors receive each year. On page 59 is kind of your golden page as pertains to dental insurance. And the reason why is because that lists what's not covered within Medicare. And as you can probably guess, the number one thing is dental. The number two thing is vision. And I always joke, at least when I'm presented anyways, I ask folks, what's the number three thing? And you would think it's hearing, but ironically, it's dentures. I don't understand why dentures is separate from dental, but nonetheless, it is. And so whether it's, kind of option A or option B in terms of how you're going to bring it up, it's really important to not just hear this product and think, oh yeah, I have someone that I could sell dental to. Really what we're trying to encourage you today is to think of dental differently. Think of it as a core product line to your Medicare kind of education process, and think through how are you going to bring up dental within that sale. And the key in that last sentence is within. You have to do it within the Medicare education process. As part of, talking about Medicare, somewhere along those lines, you have to flow in dental's not covered. There's quality standalone dental plans if you want to get dental insurance that's similar to what you had with group insurance. You need the agents that sell a lot of dental with us are those that weave that in, and they don't view it as, a cross-sell product. They view it as, hey, CMS says that I can sell dental and I can sell hospital indemnity. More specifically, I can sell health products alongside Medicare enrollments. And so if you include the dental conversations, and by far it's the simplest cross-sell product out of all of them. It's, I like to joke, it's the gateway drug, because once you can start selling dental, what you'll find, what most agents tell me is, Bryan, once I started kind of adding dental, that also meant I started adding a lot of hospital indemnity, or I started adding a lot of cancer, heart, and stroke plans. It's definitely the gateway drug, and it's definitely the easiest. And the benefit about it is if you're only selling Medicare right now, it's the one product that's out there that the clients know that you're talking about when you just say dental insurance. You say dental, they know what you're talking about. If you say hospital indemnity, while it makes a lot of sense, they don't know what you're talking about. And so it doesn't get easier than that. Moving on from the dental, let's talk about the vision. And by the way, if there's questions on the line, feel free to send those questions in, and we'll through the chat function or the question function that exists within the GoToWebinar software, and we'll answer those here at the end. We also do standalone vision. The standalone vision is available in 48 states, but for Maryland and New York. Here's how those plans work. There's two big networks on the vision side, iMed and VSP. iMed has, LensCrafters, ProVision, Target. VSP, on the other hand, has a majority of the independent eye doctors. The premium on the iMed plan is relatively inexpensive. It's $10.67. It's going to cover the eye exams once per year. It's going to cover the glasses every 2 years, or contact lenses. When you go, a typical visit is an eye exam, frames, and lenses. So when you get that eye exam, you're going to pay a $25 copay. When you get the frames, you're going to get a $130 frame allowance. And then when you get the lenses, you're also only going to pay a $25 copay. So you've got $50 in copays and $130 frame allowance. VSP, if I can get my slide to flip, there we go. VSP, on the other hand, as I mentioned, has the majority of the independent eye doctors. They also have Costco. They also have about half of the Walmarts. Another thing that's kind of interesting is historically, iMed and VSP have been fierce competitors, and they still are to this day. But as it pertains to kind of the retail outfits, they've kind of made those outfits and those doctors to pick. You can be in one or the other, but not both. It's us or them sort of mentality. ProVision was the first retailer to get a large enough scale to get in both of the networks. Now, most will advertise them both and say we accept either, but for the most part, they're in one or the other in terms of actually being in network. And so that's kind of an interesting development that's starting to occur within these networks. And I'm kind of foreseeing that there's going to be more and more kind of breakdown of walls per se between these two. The rate on the VSP plan is a little bit more expensive, but the benefits are also richer. The monthly rate on this plan is $16.34. A few ways that the benefits are richer are the glasses are available every single year, not every 2 years. And then also you've got stronger benefits as it pertains to the copays and the allowances. The eye exam is only a $10 copay. The lens copay is only $20, and then you've got a $150 frame allowance. So let me show you kind of what this enrollment process looks like. First things first is you do need to get appointed with us. That's the first step with us. Once you get appointed through Premier, you're going to receive an enrollment link, and this is how it's sent to you. It's sent to you in kind of an intro email or a welcome to Ameritas email, and it has your enrollment link inside of there. That's how you're going to process all of the applications. Let me jump to that enrollment link so you can see it kind of live here. You're going to go ahead and you're going to put in the client zip code. It's going to ask for dental or vision, who will be covered, and the coverage start date. And we do everyday effective dates. So you can literally do it tomorrow. You can push it further out if you'd like. Let's do tomorrow. By the way, all of your info is going to come up. The plans are going to populate. So you can see, here in Minneapolis, which is about an area 5 out of the 8 areas that exist. The network $1,000 plan is $34.43. You see the $2,000 plan at $41, and then you see the indemnity plans. These plans are the non-network plans because they don't have network in the title, and they also say freedom to use any dentist. These plans just say designed for those who utilize an Ameritas Dental Network provider. So you can click on this link and you can look up the providers and see who's in network. They're going to use a network. You should only talk about the network plans. There's really no point to sell them one of these non-network plans. If they're not going to go use a network, let them know that it'd be much cheaper to use the network in terms of the premium that they're going to pay. But if ultimately it's their desire to go to a dentist that's not on the network, that's fine. That's why we offer these non-network plans. They cost more, but then they've got the the flexibility to do so. So let's say they want to buy our most popular plan, which is the network $2,000 plan. They hit purchase. You can check out now, review the vision options. And by the way, you can do this as an agent, or your consumers can do this directly. The vision options come up, IMED or VSP. Let's say we want to add that IMED plan. The rate increases the reflect so, and then we hit purchase. You're going to put in all the client's name, all the client's info. And guys, you already have all this info. We're not asking for a social. It's name, address, date of birth, essentially. Gender, marital status, telephone number, and email. The only thing we use the email for is we'll send them a confirmation email the second that you hit submit here. Then it's payment, credit card or bank checking account. Check this box here, and you get to the final page. This is your review page right here. This shows you everything that you've got in the shopping cart in terms of the dental plan that you selected and the vision plan. And it's as simple as that. You don't need a wet signature. You don't need anything in addition. And it's literally going to be the simplest and quickest enrollment tool that you'll find out there for insurance. That's how you process all the applications. So the beautiful thing about it is when you're in AEP, I get that's the busiest time of the year. This is something that if you're going to be meeting with the clients face-to-face, you can leave them with a brochure. And by the way, if you want brochures, Premier's got stockfuls of them. You can ask them for them. If you want the brochure, you just leave it with them, and then just do the enrollment later. You don't have to do it on the spot. If you've got someone that's going to help you with your enrollment, you can give it to them. If you just want to wait till the end of the evening and submit the enrollment then, you can totally do so. Once you hit submit, you as the agent of record and also your client are both going to receive confirmation emails so you know that the policy's been issued. We do an instant issue, and the beautiful thing about it is it's a direct feed into our admin system. It's the whole reason why we went to e-apps only, because then we can really kind of cut down on all of the back-end service issues. Because we've got direct API feeds into not only the admin system but also the printer for the fulfillment. As a carrier rep, knock on wood, I don't really get calls saying from Premier or the other clients that I work with that say, hey, this one specific client didn't get an ID card, or the client called up and they couldn't find them in the admin system, or the provider, they went to the provider and they never heard of that carrier that they sold them insurance before. Ameritas is kind of a household name with providers. We've got 470,000 access points nationwide, so they're either in our network or at the very least they're aware of Ameritas. And so, when I talk with the agents, that do sell us a lot, what they end up saying is, I don't know, Brian, like when I sell you guys, it just kind of works, right? They go to the provider experience is nice and smooth. They get the ID cards first time, every time sort of mentality. And so that's really what we focus on is we're a dental focused company. We try to kind of offer, a high-end boutique service as it pertains to doing dental because frankly, we feel like it's something that this space is missing. So frequently I hear from agents and they say, Brian, I love you guys, but historically why I've never offered dental is because I just didn't see value in it, or it's too much of a pain in the butt to do it because the enrollment process took too long or there's too many issues on the back end. I'm not saying that we're perfect, but I do think that there's a reason why we're doing more dental insurance out there than anybody else in the individual space. So with that, thank you. I very much appreciate your time. Hopefully you're as excited as what I am and what we are about these changes. I think this is going to sweeten the pot per se as it pertains to the plan changes that we're offering. The fact that we can offer that Advantage Plus plan kind of across the board with the option of the $1,000 or $2,000 maximum. And so with that, I'll turn it back for any further questions at this point.
Oh, perfect. Thanks, Brian. We did have a couple questions come through. One is, if someone were to enroll now and they needed implants in January, is that a 50% benefit?
It would be, yeah. But one thing I'll add to kind of the implant conversation or, bridges or partials or dentures for that matter is because I mentioned there's no pre-existing conditions. The one thing that you've got to be careful at in this arena is the missing tooth clause. Our plan's got a missing tooth clause, and from everything that I've seen, I think all plans have missing tooth clauses. So if they're already missing that tooth before they get the insurance and they just need to get an implant, if there's no extraction, there's no coverage. Once again, if there's no extraction, there's no coverage. That'd be a missing tooth clause. Now, let's say they're missing one tooth, but they're going to get a bridge or a partial, or maybe they're going to get a couple implants. And so, but they need to do one extraction in addition to the tooth that they're already missing. That would be fine. As long as there's an extraction when the plan is put in force, we'll cover it. But if there's no extraction, there's no coverage. So just something to be watching out for.
The next question is, can we do a standalone vision without dental?
Yes. Yep. Both of those products are offered on a standalone basis.
Okay, perfect. And then the last one that I have is, what if a client doesn't have an email address for the plan?
Yeah, just go ahead and just kind of do like what I did, which was put in like noneandnone.com. Or even better yet, actually, I take that back. Put in your own email address. The only thing that we really use it for, once again, is the confirmation emails. And so I would just do that. Just put in your own email address, so that way at least you receive their confirmation email. So if you want to print it off or send it to them, then you can do so.
Well, that's wonderful. I don't have any other questions that came through. So thank you, Brian, so much for this webinar today, and we appreciate all who attended. For any follow-up questions or interest in getting on board with Ameritas, please contact your marketer here at Premier. And if you don't have one, call on in and you'll get one of our experienced health teams to get you going with this dental and vision. Our number is 1-800-365-8208. I appreciate
Awesome.
everyone. Thank you. Thanks,
Thanks,
Brian.
Sarah.